Presidential candidate of the Labour Party 2023 general elections, the Okute, won himself. Peter Obi has alleged fears of threat to life from the APC. He said that should anything happen to him, the APC and Bola Tinubu's government should be held responsible. He said that his life and that of his family has been threatened. Before you ask how, I'll allow you to see this video from an apostle of doom himself, a colossal mistake, and a capon of non-entity, Felix Moka, who represent the APC and the ideologies of the party, being a cult-like, gang-like, tout-like, Agbero-like, not even Agbero-like, Agbero in full effect of a political party. See him threatening Peter Obi on live television. Watch.
No. He is the one that's throwing that. Mr. Obi is shooting from the hip. He's not looking. He's not taking an aim. He just, shoots widely like, what we used to see in movies back in the day. He would think that he can bring down the government by simply, being maliciously deceptive. That is wrong. I'm not somebody to go on that offensive in that manner. But Mr. Obi has crossed the line so many times, and I think that at this point, he has coming to him whatever he gets. He needs to manage it.
Okay, so that's it. That's Felix Moka, who will never say anything good in his life. Unfortunately, what did Peter Obi say at this point? The only thing he said is Tinubu should stop flying from country to country and now decide to use 2025 to fly from state to state so that he can see the real challenge of the Nigerian people, because there's a superficial and maybe a deceptive, manipulative. I've come to understand by way of privilege that the Nigerian presidency in the last couple of years, and maybe from Obasanjo era this started, Yaradua, Jonathan, there's a not kebab, there's a gang of people that are appointed somehow. I don't know how. They protect the president from getting involved with day-to-day happenings in the country. First, they sieve and ensure that the information that gets to him quite limited, because I don't know what they are protecting. Sometimes also, it was worse with Buhari. They even shut him out against television, against a lot of these things, just so that he's able to be fine. Whatever that's a health condition, I don't know, right? And I know that will continue with Tinubu. Somehow, for a president that wants to, I think it's John C. Maxwell that said, anytime you are walking and there are no followers behind as a leader, you know that you are taking a stroll. You may just not get to understand how these people are feeling. maybe listening to Femi Gbajabiamila, Wale Edun, Yes Some Weekend, a few of all these guys are your kitchen guys, I may be telling you, I'm sure now that Buhari has left power, he will sit and see that, well, even the village he is from, he will know that there's nothing he has done, maybe apart from the road that Amechi tarred, right, stupidly tarred from all through to Niger Republic. That would have been the only benefit. There is nothing special. Katsina is not in the top 15 states of the country, so there's really nothing special about the state. So there is, and then all this gagging and guiding and sieving and guarding end nowhere. So Peter Obi said, Papa, you go the waka, go around and feed people, let people talk to you. Unfortunately, and that's the only thing he said. And he said, in this particular era, the era of thinking that opposition has died is not, that there's going to be a serious opposition in 2025. Which, of course, some of us that are followers of Peter Obi feels that this man is long. Papa, you are not even taking these guys to the cleaners enough. You are still too gentle. Again, the reason some of us cannot come out every day and blast Peter Obi is because we understand by default he's in the minority. Forget the acclimatization of the three major. There are two major tribes in Nigeria. That's Hausa. Okay, there are even three: Hausa, Fulani, and Yoruba. There are three major tribes. Forget the one they put in, because by default he's an underprivileged. He's a vulnerable adult. Anything can happen to him. He's Igbo, so anything. It will even be better for a Benin man to have a chance to conversations. I'm not saying about followership. He may be ignored, unlike Peter Obi. So there's a that's why Kenneth Okonkwo was a bit disappointed not to have realized this. But again, some people have said that the man should be able, if you want the country to work, you're able to sacrifice. Whatever the worst is going to happen is that you're either assassinated or you're in prison. Either of them, as long as you should be ready. we should continue to have more and more Nigerians blood being spilled, so that at least one of these days that could cause the pain for Nigerians to end it all off, if that's anything like that. However, Felix Moka threw caution to the wind, went on national TV and threatened Peter Obi and said he has crossed. So now that he has crossed the line. So apart from Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, the next hero of our democracy in recent times is Peter Obi. I'm telling you, the advantage that Goodluck Ebele Jonathan has in that ranking is because he was the sitting president. He had the chance to have nullified the 2015 elections, or cancel it, or do anything just so. He would do anything. He has the powers. Whether he was going to go technical or go manual, whatever would have happened, he would have been able to happen. But the man went on to the call to Buhari to congratulate him before INEC official declaration of result was enough to have calmed nerve, and everybody just said, if the president is saying okay, why should we? The next person that have done anything close is Peter Obi. There are friends of mine, there are followers of mine, there are people that are in my inner circle that can never support or vote Peter Obi because of the outcome of 2023 election. They knew that the election would be rigged, but the confidence that Peter Obi would defend the vote. And when it was time for Peter Obi to tell his followers to be on the street, to demand that INEC do the right thing, because again, let's look at it this way. Except you are daft, there is a clause in INEC procedure that they have a chance to be able to regularize, look into, check, balance, take report and feedback of the elections, and be able to, beyond going to court, because the court was supposed to be the secondary institution that will look into election results. INEC itself has a right and a duty to look into their own results and say, okay, what are you saying? What are you saying? INEC refused. So that 7-day period, as it were, for example, people were expecting the PDP was on the street, but Peter Obi refused to be there because he knew the impact, he knew the threat, he knew how dangerous that would be. Because of course we were already in a system where the government would be deaf and dumb. So he knew that the people and young people were following him. The PDP went on protest in Abuja, but the Labour Party and the Obedient Movement didn't, because Peter Obi alone, there's anybody that should be honored for being a man of peace, for being a man that has put Nigeria ahead of his own personal ambition, is Mr. Peter Obi. At that point, right? Till today, there are people that will never look at Peter Obi. I think I read one of my comments yesterday to say, because of what Peter Obi did 2023, he would rather support Sowore in 2027, because if it was Sowore that had that level of support that Peter Obi had that number of votes, and had that level of conviction that the election was rigged, he would have been on the street. Of course, Sowore even before now, as in friendly tone as we tell you revolution now, let alone he now had that opportunity. Yet, what am I saying? So when Felix Moka, or the unfortunate Felix Moka, goes on national TV and says all that he's saying, all that he's saying, for example, you wonder. And unfortunately, people are laughing. I know there are people that will defend this cause. There are two sets of Nigerians that I will never forgive. Those that were ignorant, or those that were not aware of the existence of life or national politics or democracy prior to pre-2015, and those that have decided to have selective delusional amnesia, to forgetting how the APC got power. You people are thinking that there was just an election and Buhari won the election. Jonathan congratulated. No. The build up to that election from 2011 up to 2015, Nigeria was on a hot seat. It was a turmoil. So when you see people challenge Baba Adeboye, challenge Tunde Bakare, challenge Wole Soyinka, they know what they are saying. These were the elements of evil malpractice, and oh God, Baba Adeboye is in that place. So respectfully, right? Involved in that they used to mastermind and destroy all the fabrics of national unity. Nothing that was not said, no insult that there were coffins of Goodluck Jonathan all over in Lagos, conspicuously, for example. Yet the heaven did not fall. Now a man says, this thing you are calling this president, sit up this year, sit up and pull the people out of poverty. You say yes. Which line he crossed? Felix Moka, we can. I know you can arrest anybody and jail anybody, but how many can you jail? How many can you kill? Would that change the course of the country? Would that only turn turn the country to living the space is in now in being the capital of poverty in the world, where we have more Nigerians living under very tremendous, very multi-dimensional poverty without change. Arrest him. He has crossed the line. You, Uko, your president has crossed the lines against Nigeria. You have crossed the lines by providing the weakest political party and the weakest government ever. Instead of now to think how to focus on helping Nigerians, you are bothered about who is opposing, who is not talking on your favor. All the Reno Mokri, Daniel Boya, doing Ukugbe you have in your camp, you are still bothered about one voice, one lonely voice speaking from the wilderness. So now see a bunch of incompetent fools. But we don't get out of my front.